Hello, and welcome to Pick a Card reading. This is Jade with yesYesYes. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for all of your likes and your shares and your subscribes. I love doing Pick a Card because it's kind of like a choose your own adventure. You're going to be a part of this. You have 3 different opportunities to be active in the reading. And this overall reading, I had asked a friend if I was going to do a reading, what would he want me to read about? And so his first answer was, what do I need let me think about it again. What do I need to do to prepare myself for my next relationship? So it's about, what's your personal journey in getting ready for relationship and drawing that relationship closer, which I thought was brilliant. It's a long-winded question, so I tried to get him to make it shorter. And so his shortened answer was, what do I have to do to get laid? So what I thought I would do here, I meditated with the energy. I understand what the need, what we're asking for is. This is for a singles reading. And it's what is it that the single person, what energy do we need to work on within ourselves in order to draw in the type of relationship that we're wanting, whether that be just getting laid or your next soulmate. So I figured it can go for all ways. I have no idea how I'm going to title this yet, but that's what's going on here. You do have 3 options. So the first option, we're going to read with the Line Strider deck. I have 3 different clarifiers. One deck, I cannot recall. I'll have to look it up and I'll put the link below. I also got this great new deck, which is Work Your Light by Rebecca Campbell. So we have a card from that. And then I also have a card from Gabby Bernstein's deck because I love Gabby Bernstein. And so we'll see what those say as well. We have the Amethyst. We have the, this is the Shaman stone. Now I can't remember the name of that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so just so you know, it's Mercury retrograde time for me already. It hits me early. So I am struggling and having fun in the struggle. So laugh with me on it. The Shaman stone, Shungite, that's what it is. This is Shungite. And then the final one is a clear quartz. So if you are called to Amethyst, which is higher ascension, it is the 7th chakra, the higher self. The Shungite Shaman stone is getting grounded. It's drawing in. It's being able. It's the alchemy stone, right? It's being able, the magician stone, to manifest, to draw in whatever it is that you're wanting. And then the clear quartz is purity. It's actually anything that you want to put into clear quartz. It's beautiful, but it's purity. It's actually the 8th chakra, beyond the crown, and the pure light, angelic beingness, higher level, upper world, that type of thing. So I'll give you a moment to see which one of these 3 is resonating for you. Really feel which one you're drawn to. Okay, and then we'll get started. I'm going to start with the clear quartz, so I'll pull the others aside here. And let me just tell you that I am house sitting and dog sitting for my friend who asked the question. So if you hear a dog in the background, just know that he wants to be a part of the reading. All right, so here we are. I have pre-shuffled, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these out. We're going to lay them out in a Celtic spread and see what do we have to do energetically. What do we have to do to prepare ourselves for whatever it is that we're wanting in relationship? Okay, let me see. Did all of that get on there? Oh my gosh, it did. It fit. Okay. So the first thing is 6 of Cups in reverse. Getting over something from the past, releasing what is in the past. So what I'm feeling here is that there's a past relationship that's still lingering in your mind that you're still kind of hoping would come around. that you're hoping for a reconciliation, you're hoping for a rekindling, maybe just for an apology. You got to get over it. You got to leave that behind, because that is keeping you stuck. It's keeping you stuck. The Eight of Swords here, it's keeping you in this place of binding where you feel like you can't see, you can't move, you can't go beyond it. But the truth is, and this is what's beautiful about the Eight of Swords, is that you have the power to release those binds. You just aren't seeing it. You're just not realizing it. And I'm telling that to you, is that that's what's crossing you. That's what's keeping you back, is that you feel that you have to be bound to this past relationship that might have seemed like it was going to work out, but it just didn't. You know, we've all had those, and they're painful to let go of, because there was a story behind them. You built a story of what all beauty, you know, what that beautiful connection was going to be. We have to move on, and we can't be bound by it anymore, because nothing more can come in. The foundation, your foundational energy here is harsh. It feels like you have built a wall up around yourself with the Emperor here. You've built a wall up so that no one else can get close to you. Again, with this Eight of Swords energy. How else are you supposed to draw in beauty and love and that next relationship, whatever, if it's just getting laid or whatever, how are you supposed to draw that in if you are in a place of harshness, unfeelingness, closure? We have to stay open. Now look at this. In the past, you did feel this Ace of Cups. So there was a new emotional connection that you felt was possible. Now, I'm feeling like it may have been this past relationship, but it also could be something else that came up that you just didn't trust in or believe in. So this is a relationship that was that came to you after this one that's tripping you up, and that, and the reason why I'm saying that is it came in full steam, upright. There's emotional possibility in your past, okay, and let's see, okay, let's just see. But what I'm really feeling like is that this is part of the energy that makes you you. The chance for new love, the ability to love purely, sweetly, innocently, and you can get back to that. Absolutely. We just have to release this Emperor energy that's holding you in this really behind the tight walls of the kingdom, right? It's holding you behind the castle walls. So it's sewing up whatever this issue was in the past, and it's releasing whatever walls and whatever ties you might have. I don't know if you ever do cord cutting. It's a visualization technique or a meditation technique. It's helped me quite a bit when I imagine that I have, if there are cords that are still binding me to a past lover, and that I actually will cut them. Right now, you're feeling the burden of it all. You really want to put it down. I feel like you are just to the place now where you really want to move on. The Six of Swords is here. That's energy where you really want to move forward. It's just that you're stuck, okay? So hopefully this energy of this reading will move you forward and get you to a place where you will be unstuck. Because I feel like you know that this is the issue. You know that you're bound to it. You know that you have your walls up, but there's this potential beyond it. It was beautiful in the past, but you're really ready to put down the burden and move forward. You're just feeling still a little stuck about it, okay? Now, so we're talking about cord cutting will help you. It will, I think also that if you can feel that this relationship didn't have to be anything more than what it was. And that's the hardest thing to come to terms with, is that, the story that we create with relationship, and Disney has really kind of given us this head problem where we think that all relationships are going to be forever after, happily ever after. And not all relationships are. We learn from connections in so many different ways that they don't have to play out like those Disney movies. Like, they don't have to play out in long-term relationships at all. Now, the potential was there for sure, But what I'm feeling is that that's what's binding you up, and you really have to move forward, okay? Again, we've got this devil energy, the toxicity. It's in reverse, which is great. You're turning it down. You're moving on. We have the Four of Pentacles, which is holding on tightly, turning it over, letting go. Beautiful energy. So it's telling us let go. You're letting go. It's releasing any kind of addiction, any kind of toxicity. If it was a Capricorn, moving on from them. Now we're at the Nine of Wands. Now I feel a lot of times with the Nine of Wands, it's being seen for being vulnerable. It's showing that you've been through a fight, that you have, I mean, yes, you're standing your ground. That's what, this card is really about, is standing the ground, not giving up. You're not giving up on yourself, but it's also being seen for all of the fight and all of the struggle that you've gone through. And I think that if you show this, you show that part of yourself to the world, then your person, the next person, will see the beauty in your vulnerability. They will see it and they will come straight to you. Knight of Wands is here. It did come up in the reverse, but I'm feeling like that this might be that next someone. The Knight, and even though it's in reverse, I'll talk about it in the upright as well. Bringing in of passion, bringing in, it's the action, right? It's the not waiting around anymore. So there's no reason for you to be stuck anymore. Release this past relationship, let down your walls. You can celebrate it for what it was. It was a beautiful, emotionally potential, emotionally connected relationship, but it's become a burden now. You're holding it, right? You're the only one holding it. There's only you here. That other person isn't here anymore. It's time to move away, let go of it, because it is an addiction, right? At this point, trying to work it through it is an addiction. You've got to let it go. Let it go. You want to. Be seen for your vulnerability. Be seen so that if this Knight of Wands is your next person, they'll be able to come in and they will see you in your vulnerability. They'll see you in your openness and find a space for themselves to stand right next to you. Okay, let's see what the last 3 cards here are. This is the one, get a new story. Oh my gosh, I love it when the cards come through. Get a new story. We talked about that. So it's releasing this story and getting a new one. Okay, we also have from the Work Your Light, this is the Great Gathering. These cards are really interesting and very deep and rich in their visions. So the Great Gathering, what I'm feeling here, let me read the rest of it. It's all coming together, intuitive hits, soul tribe. So when you release this, as you're working through releasing this emotionally, go to people who are in your soul tribe, whether that be in your family or your friendship circle, and be with them. Stay, express yourself and what you're going through to them. Get the support that you need, because that's where your next person might be. You might connect to that next person there. I am the dreamer of my dream. You have all of the power that you need to create the life that you want. Get back to the place where you're feeling innocent, away from this emperor energy of locking down the walls. Be free and be open. Open up your gates. Open up your you can let down your guard, okay? Your friends, your tribe are here to support you to get a new story. And you don't have to feel like you're going to be hurt again. Let's see what this last one says, because this was a bonus. I didn't even know it was there. I witness the darkness and call to the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. So don't let yourself be in fear of starting something new. Let yourself be open to a new story. That was a lot, but I hope that makes sense. Releasing old stories, old patterns, letting down your guard, being seen as vulnerable, connect with your tribe, and be vulnerable and let someone give them space to step in with you. All right. So now let's move on to the next one. That was a good one. Okay. We'll go to Shungite. Shungite, here we are. Okay. So I'm going to lay it out as a Celtic cross, and we're going to see what changes you need to make in your life in order to be prepared for the next connection, whether that be just getting laid or if it's a deep soulmate connection. Okay, 8 of Wands crossed by 5 of Wands. We have the Chariot, the Page of Cup in reverse, the World in reverse, and the Lovers in reverse. Knight of Pentacles reverse, King of Wands reverse, Death in reverse, the Sun card upright. All right. So what it's looking like is that we've got some issues with moving. It could be moving on from something in the past, or it could just be, and Wands is also, Wands is action, passion, but this particular card, the 8 of Wands, can also be communication coming in. So we could be talking about that there's a struggle for speaking the truth, speaking your truth. And that could be what we're working on right now. As I'm filming this, we're getting ready for Mercury retrograde. So that could be what the challenge is right now. We've got another movement card. The foundation is the Chariot, Cancer card. We need to move ourselves forward. This is a destiny. This is a destiny need. You actually have quite a bit of major arcana here. So there is a need to move forward, speaking the truth, but also because this is Cancer, we're talking about emotions. So we're talking about emotionally healing and growing. So becoming more emotionally intelligent. And that might mean what's coming in is being able to have authentic communication. So maybe that's something where you take an authentic or conscious communication class where you're learning how to speak your truth in a way that doesn't initiate any arguments, or and not even that you were initiating arguments, but being able to speak your truth in such a way that is decisive and clear that the other person has no emotional rebound from it, right? Like there's no recourse because it's so clear and it's so true to who you are. So I'm feeling like we're moving towards being able to emotionally express ourselves in a way that is more mature than in the past. Here we are, Page of Cups in the reverse in the past. So again, it's been small amounts of emotional immaturity that has been in life, right? And this could be, again, connected to communication. We do have the Gemini card in the future there. That is, you know, they're ruled by Mercury, so there's that as well. But this is also like not being emotionally satisfied. Little bits coming in, but not enough, right? So what I'm feeling, again, is that the need that you have to get laid, if that's what it is, or to set yourself up for the next amazing relationship, is speaking your truth in a way that is emotionally satisfying and allowing others to know this is where this is your non-negotiable, right? Stating these are my needs and I won't settle for anything less. The World card is here. It's also in the reverse. So it's the need to finish up this cycle, the need to expand beyond what is holding you back, which might be just purely vocabulary. It might just be not spending enough time with yourself to get very clear on how you do feel about things. I have a problem with vocabulary in relationship because I don't have all of the words to describe the depth of which I feel. It's something that I want to continue to work on, and I'm feeling like that might be something that's similar here. If we were able to flip this World card around, that would mean that the expansion is happening. We're moving forward. See, there's this flow, this natural flow that wants to happen. We just have to flip these cards around. So the world, again, it's closing this cycle, and don't trip on it. Don't keep hold of, yes, it's scary to speak your truth because you may be judged. But whatever, if they're not going to be someone who loves you, why would you want them in your life anyway? It's scary to speak your truth because people will leave. Again, same thing. It's, people may recoil, they may come back and say some stuff that doesn't, that hurts. But if you're speaking your truth, none of that stuff will come close to you. None of those words of hatred or struggle will sit in your soul because you're speaking your truth. You're coming from a place of clarity. So that's what I'm feeling is really where we need to work towards. Now we have the Lovers card here. This is a choice. We look at lovers in so many different ways, but the thing about this card, what's beautiful about it is that it represents this dichotomy, these two different parts of ourselves. And so you have this choice to make between the two parts of yourself, the one that might be quiet and complacent and pacifistic, and the other that might, be a little bit more assertive, might be a little more decisive, and maybe at first cutting because you're working out vocabulary, you're working out linguistics of how to speak it. And sometimes we need to overcorrect. Sometimes when you start speaking, the floodgates open and all kinds of stuff comes out, right? So so just know that there's two separate things that you have this choice on right now. And if you choose, what I'll say is that if you choose the one that's the speaking twin, right? You make that choice towards speaking your truth. That floodgate where it might feel uncontrollable will temper back. You'll figure out how to correct it, okay? It's just how it happens. That's just natural, is that we need to course correct, but we need to do it in practice. I hope that makes sense. So let's see what else we have. We have the Knight of Pentacles, slow moving stability. We really want that. It's super slow right now. Let's see what else we have. King of Wands also in the reverse. Any kind of passion. I like that these cards are here because what that's telling me is that there's stability and passion that is completely possible, right? It's completely possible for you to bring this in. This is the energy that you're wanting to bring in. And I feel like once you get all of this moving, I'm going to turn these over. Once we get these moving, this energy moving forward, start the wheel, see how it's kind of circling. I feel that the stability and the passion is going to start coming through. The Death card is here. Scorpio card, transitions, transformations, endings, and also beginnings. You have to go through the depths of things in order to get to the light. And look, ultimately, we have the light. Here's the sun. The Sun card, Leo card. I look at it as Leo card. So it's possible that we're making our way to speaking the truth. This is actually a good combo. Geminis and Geminis and Leos do really well. There's Scorpio on the table as well, and Cancer. But what I'm feeling is that once you start this ball rolling with this communication, you start to get clearer on what your needs are. You start to express what your needs are more and more. Then people will hear you. The right people will hear you and they will step into your life. Now, specifically, this transformation, that there's a resistance to it right now. So what I'm seeing is that you are, you may be feeling it, knowing that this is what you need to do, but you're just very resistant to it. I want you to know that you're supported in this. If you need to, again, take those classes, get better with speaking, maybe what it is that you are a non-native speaker in the country that you reside in, and that throws communication off with others completely. So there are all kinds of ways in which you can learn to communicate through, even just learning music, song lyrics. They speak in analogies, and sometimes those analogies make sense across the board. So keep that in mind too. Maybe learning some musical lyrics will also help you to speak your truth, because sometimes other people write the words that we're feeling, which is why we love music anyway. But what I'm feeling is ultimately there might be a Leo here or another fiery energy waiting for you, just waiting for you to start this ball rolling, to start speaking your truth, okay? I want to see what these other cards are saying, because they summed it up last time. All right, we're going to get back to basics. And what I feel like this is about that vocabulary study. Maybe it's I know this is crazy. Just, get one of those apps, the dictionary apps where they have a word a day. And also, like I talked about, create a conscious communication course or an authentic relating course. Something like that will help you get back to basics in what it's like to identify what you feel, find the words for that feeling, and then express them in a safe way that is conscientious and doesn't necessarily need to be a struggle for you or within communication with anyone else. The Work Your Light, we have Age of Light. These are really rich, beautiful cards here. You've been training for this. Oh my gosh. Excuse me. You've been training for this for lifetimes. All right. You've been training for this for lifetimes. What I feel, though, is that this is through your time on this planet, incarnated in this lifetime. This might have been a challenge this whole lifetime. And that you've come here, this is part of your journey in this lifetime, is to develop yourself in this communicative way. You might have, I don't know if you study astrology, you might look at your chart to see what planets are in, or actually it's specifically Mercury. See where Mercury lands in your astrology chart, and that will give you a hint as to how in which it's best for you to communicate, and what, maybe there's some plagues that you might have with some challenges in the placements. But I feel like this is something for you that you came here to really heal in yourself. And when you heal yourself, you also heal others. So you're going to show that you can do this, and you're going to teach this method to others, because people will see that you now have changed your life based on being able to correctly identify how you feel and to communicate that with love and compassion for yourself first, and then for the other who's hearing you. Now we have Gabby Bernstein. When I'm in an alignment with love of the universe, peace cannot be disrupted. When I'm in alignment with the universe, peace cannot be disrupted. There is always this underlying feeling of peace. And when we get away from it, it's because that's a struggle. When we get away from that feeling of peace and security that's supporting us, it cannot be disrupted when we remember that we are always connected to the universe. We are always loved by the universe, and we are always on our journey, always uncovering more and more. So, to answer your question, what do I need to do to prepare myself for the next relationship, my next whatever it is I'm dreaming of, or just getting laid? I'm going to keep laughing about that. It's about learning how to communicate the truth of your emotions, being honest with your emotions, being open with your emotions, so that you can be celebrated and supported and loved ultimately, and perhaps by a Leo or another fire sign. So there is that, number 2. Let's pull these away, and now moving to number 3. For the amethyst, here we are. So pre-shuffled, but I'm going to ask again, what do we need to do to prepare ourselves for what we're wanting next in relationship, whether that be physical, emotional, spiritual? Where does this story begin? Here we go. Page of Wands, Three of Swords, Queen of Wands, Justice, Strength card, Page of Pentacles, Three of Wands. Did I say three? I said Queen of Wands. The Hierophant, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Seven of Cups. Okay. So, I'm losing my voice. I'll do my best here. What we're struggling here with is the ability to act. We're taking small actions to move forward. And the reason why we're struggling is because we're in grieving mode. We're in loss. We're feeling, and I feel like this is an underlying feeling of sadness, victimization. So maybe there's a little bit of poor me that's in your body. It's in your mind, where you feel like, oh, it's not going to happen for me. It never has happened for me in the past. You know, I want to take action. I want to move forward. I want to clear my plate and get ready for the next new relationship, but that's really hard. Maybe I'm getting old and I feel like it's getting harder to find people. I'm not that pretty. You know, all these little like negating terrible things that you tell yourself. I think that's what this Three of Swords is. It's all crap. This is all stuff that keeps you small in yourself, and it's keeping you from growing. You have the capacity for something so much more. And it doesn't even matter if you're in relationship or not. You have the capacity for being beyond the page, but this queen, even the King of Wands, who's not here, but this Queen of Wands here, that is in the reverse, this is the foundation, but because it's in the reverse, it actually doesn't matter. This is still an energy you can draw upon. It's the perfect balance, I find. So the wands are an action suit. It's a masculine suit, but the queen she softens that. She has the ability to compassionately lead. She's highly creative, and she's like one of those power players, but she doesn't need to cut down anyone because she knows her power, and she naturally draws people to her. You're just in the reverse about this, which means that you're in your head about it, okay? Get out of your head, get back into your action self, get back into your passion. If you don't have a passion project right now, that's what I'm feeling like you might need to start. So passion projects are things that drive you. They're not work related. If you can make your work into your passion project, amazing. But for the most part, if you're just starting out here, let's talk about what passion projects are. It is, something that moves you beyond the everyday. Okay, so if your passion is to bring puppies, oh, we want to bring puppies food. Okay, so start donating your time to a shelter and maybe you get to hold the puppies while you're there, or you get to you can foster dogs, okay? If it's that you want to give to the homeless passion project, if you want to clean up water, clean up, just an area of your neighborhood, whatever it is that maybe it is that you're finding yourself complaining about it, that's an inkling as to that's what your passion is, because you're seeing a need and you have the ability to change it because you have that power within you. So making the change in your life, these little changes, getting out of a victimization role by taking charge and coming up with a passion project. That's a long one, but I'll get back to it. Justice is in your past. Could be a Libra energy, but it's a balancing energy. Okay, I'm going to let the dog in. We'll see how this goes. Okay, sometimes he barks, but let's hope not. So justice, there's a balancing act that you had in the past. And I like that the justice is upright. So it's taking on balancing. What I'm feeling is a balance between doing and feeling. And I feel like that's really, oh, now he wants to go back out. That's really, sorry guys. Okay. I'm feeling that, let me go back. Justice. So the justice is here as a balancing act, right? In the past, that's what this card placement is that there's been a balancing act between doing something that you're passionate about or taking action at work and trying to balance your emotions. So it's usually those two oppositions that are trying to come together. It also could have been that there was a Libra in the past, and that could have helped you to get to this place of, taking yourself down mentally. Now, in your present, you're in the strength. I love this. So you're starting to feel like you have more self-worth. You're not doubting anymore. You're seeing all of your potential. You understand that you can slay the beast. You can tame the beast. Actually, is really what this card is about, is taming the beast. And this beast is within you. This is your own personal, internal, egoistic beast. So you're really starting to work with that balance. You're really starting to work with understanding that you hold the key, okay? In the near future, we have the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay, so this is a very small feeling of stability. It's a very young feeling of stability. So you might get a little bit coming in, but it is in the reverse. So it's not something that's going to stick yet. Okay, so what it's telling me is that you are slowly starting to feel more self-confident, get your self-worth going. It's going to take a little bit of time for it to root in and start growing, okay? You're just starting to plant some seeds. Now, great stuff is in the future. 3 of Wands, so that's your, seeing things coming to fruition. Things are moving forward, collaborations are happening. That new passion project might start to really generate some energy for you. The Hierophant, so there you go, tradition. And that passion project might have to do with a church or a spiritual undertaking, something that has to do with a religious organization possibly, or even anything that's of tradition. So maybe it's a cultural tradition. So if your passion project has something to do with a cultural tradition, you're on the right track. Then we have the 10 of Pentacles. It came out in the reverse, but again, I'm going to read it as if it's possible, because that energy is on the table. This is having, all of the wealth and the success that you're wanting, the good health, everything that you've been working towards. It's still in the reverse, but it doesn't mean that you can't flip that. It doesn't mean that it's not possible. And I feel that it is possible as long as you open yourself up to something new where you're giving back to the community. You maintain the balance, not only, with giving, but receiving. That's something we didn't talk about yet, but being able to give and receive. Okay, that's right, Kenji. And then we've got the Strength card and this small amount of stability that we're trying to bring in, trying to really root in. I feel like these are like seeds that you're planting, and you just have to keep watering them and tending them and sowing the seeds. Sing to them. That's right, Kenji, you just sing to them. And then here, look, we've got the 7 of Cups in the end. I feel like this means that then you're gonna have multiple opportunities to choose. You're gonna have choices of people. You can even choose the types of relationships that you would want, right? So you start a passion project. You get really clear with giving yourself in a different way to the world, releasing this egoistic issue where, and it is part of the ego, the part of us that tells us we're not good enough, we're not pretty enough. That's part of the ego keeping us down so that we don't grow out of it, right? We don't outgrow needing that ego. And the thing is, you don't need the ego. This little voice inside of ourselves that doubts us, that we picked up from childhood, That's what we want to leave behind. So really digging in, doing something for someone else will get you away from this head stuff, this monkey mind stuff. Okay? Make sure that you're balanced in giving and receiving. Maintain that self-worth that you're building. I love that, because that's really what's going to put you out there in the world. Things are going to be building, especially if it's a cultural project that you're working on, or a traditional project. This is also the card of the Taurus. So there could be a Taurus coming in, but beautiful things are on the way. You're going to have lots of choices, lots of choices. So let's get the excess cards here to see what else. This is a good one. What do you love? So maybe you can figure out, what do you love for your passion project? What do you love? And that's what you can give back to the world. You can, if you love puppies, you can love Kenji all you want. If you love puppies, then give back to puppies. What do you love? What can you give to the world? That get back into the passion project. I feel like that's really what's going to put you out there for that person to see you and really gain a respect for you, right? Okay, what else do we have? Birthing a new age. This is from the Work Your Light deck. Birthing a new age. What are the little ones? Birthing new creations, dreaming a world into being. I feel like this is what's really what we're talking about, being able to give starting a legacy of altruism. Is that the right term? Yes, altruism. Having some type of volunteerism that's always a part of, or tithing, always, being able to give as well as receiving. I feel like that's what people are going to learn from you, is they're going to see that that's part of your passion, is really getting to a place where you can give and receive and getting away from that headspace. We also have the mirror card for you, which is who or what is triggering you. So this could have been from childhood even, where you learned this behavioral pattern of doubting yourself, of questioning yourself, and even like negative self-talk could have come from long ago. And thinking about what the triggers are for that will give you the power to move beyond it. Come here, Kenji. All right. Ooh, I love this card. This is my favorite one in the Gabby Bernstein deck. I choose love no matter what. No matter what. Don't let anything get in the way of that. That's the eye on the prize, right? You will make changes in your life to get you to love no matter what. Ooh, and here's this one. There is nothing sexier than my authentic truth. Okay, now I think this is my favorite card in the Gabby Bernstein deck. There's nothing sexier than my authentic truth. So here's what I'll say, is that if you come up with this passion project and you realize that this is something that was seeded from your youth, right? And being able to really start new things, even in your community, where everyone realizes you have to be a volunteer, you have to give as well as receive, that's going to show the world your authenticity in such a way that's going to heighten up your sexiness, and then all of the options are going to open up for you. All of the options. I love them all. That's a beautiful reading. I hope it resonates. If you're still with me, leave me a comment below. Hit that like button. Let me know how you feel about it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to Kenji and me, and have a great evening.